What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I'm going to be introducing my new truck to you guys. Oh, here she is, 1985 Nissan 720. It's got a blown motor that I just got out, so I guess I'll just go from front to back. So just gonna let you guys in on what this build is gonna consist of. I want to build an 80s themed and period correct mini truck. So I don't want to put an SR20 in there. I don't want to put a 2JZ. I don't want to put anything modern. I want to keep it straight 80s and 80s only. Since I know there's probably a lot of you guys who are new to this channel, just gonna quickly introduce myself and what I'm doing. So I'm a youngster, obviously you guys can see, and I've always been interested into the 80s mini trucks. I've started with my first truck when I was 14, and I've always had a 720 in my possession. Well, there's some times where I didn't have one for about 6 months and I couldn't stand it, so I bought one. But I've always been in love with the 80s mini trucks, but obviously I'm a youngster, so I was never around. But I've always had a kind of a passion, and I've always wanted to be involved with it. And like I always tell all my friends and everyone who's close around me, I wish I was a teenager in the 80s, because if I was my age right now in the 80s, you guys would bet that I would have a mini truck and I'd be at all the meets, I'd be at all the parks, all the clubs, I'd be at all the shows, I'd be doing all that. But obviously I was born in the wrong era, and I was kind of born a little late, I guess you can say. This is my only way of reliving the 80s that I was never alive in, if that makes sense to anyone. So that's why I want to build this truck and keep it 80s and 80s only. Build it like a true mini truck was built back in the 80s, so I could feel like I'm living in the 80s. So I guess we'll do a little backstory on this truck. So I bought that truck back there. I have tons of videos, not tons, but I got a couple videos on the channel on that truck, which I'm sure you guys have possibly seen. If you want to see more videos on that, it's 85 King Cab ST model. If you guys want to see more videos on that, like I said, I'll have them on the channel, so you guys can check those out. So I bought that truck, and when I bought it, I took my dad to a couple meets. My dad has been to a couple meets with me in the past with my other trucks. When I was like 14, 15, I couldn't drive, so my dad would drive me around in my truck. And then he's always been kind of also into the scene, but he's never had his own truck. So when I bought that, he bought this to try to build it and drive it around so we can cruise our 720s. However, my dad works a lot of hours, so he gets home from work and he doesn't really want to work on trucks or cars or anything. Obviously, you get home, you're tired, you don't want to do any mechanical work. So he bought this, and it sat here for a while. He bought it with a seized motor for about $1,000. The plan was to put a motor in here and have him drive it around, but like I said, he doesn't have enough time, and he obviously wants to get rest, so he didn't get work done on it. So he really wanted to get a truck, so I sold him that truck for pretty damn cheap. So I sold him that because that was running and driving and was ready to go, and we put it on some wheels and lowered it for him so he could just cruise around, jump in it, and drive around. And he doesn't have to build it, he doesn't have to work on it, he doesn't have to do anything besides regular maintenance. So since I sold him that, I took over this truck. Now me, I'm young, I get out of work, and I still have a bunch of energy, maybe a little too much energy, and I don't mind working on cars right now. Once again, like I said, I'm young, so I still have that, that thrill to work on cars. So I don't mind working on this. So that is why I am going to be building this truck, but this is going to be my truck. Now that you guys are all caught up, now let's do a little walk around on the truck. I will make a probably more in-depth video, but yeah, let's start from the front. So this truck needs everything from the cowl to the fenders forward brand new, because everything in the front is bad, besides I guess the grill. The grill's still good. So you can see valence is all jacked up. The bumper is all jacked up. I have all the parts. They're all jacked up. This fender is messed up. The other fender's messed up. It's missing a corner light. That one, I guess it's good, but I would just replace both. The headlights, that one is cracked since it got a little impact on the front. And the hood has a little dent over there, which I could probably reuse the hood. Cowl has some rust on it, since it's thin, and that's common spots for rust. But like I said, I don't know if you guys know this, but I had a red single cab like this that got stolen and it got totaled, and then I was able to buy it back from the towing yard. So I tore the whole front end off, and I have it, which I'm planning on putting as much as I can on this truck to complete this front end. But yeah, it needs all that. Like I said, the motor is seized, so I just got the motor out. We'll be posting that in the near future, probably after this video. So I got the motor out. Now all I gotta do is clean up the bay with a pressure washer, simplify it as much as possible, strip as much as the emissions and stuff out of it, out of the wires, all that, get rid of all that and make it as simple as I can, and probably respray that. Now the whole truck is obviously going to get resprayed, but engine bay will probably get a different color. So the inside, I have a bunch of parts and tools in there right now, which I got to grab out right now. But it's got a bench sheet that's worn out, so that needs to get either reupholstered, but I'm thinking I'm going to put bucket seats, individual bucket seats in there. That way I can put a little sound system, a little center console in the center, but that'll be for a later date. Yeah, I guess everything, it's hard to see because it's super dark and I just got out of work, but everything in here is coming out and getting redone, except for I think the headliner, since the headliner is in pretty immaculate condition. But everything else is going to get redone. It's going to get a new dash, new everything. So that should be pretty fun. Stacking and stacking parts ever since I got my red truck stolen. So now that I got this thing, I have all the parts, a bunch of parts for that truck. So I got a shell, not too sure on the brand, but kind of came up on this. A buddy hooked me up, so got the shell. All I need is the seal for over here. So if you guys know where I can get the seal, let me know. As you can see, there's no seal, so I need that seal. There's a bunch of holes on the bed that I need to weld and grind, which is not a big deal because I weld and I enjoy doing it. So that, I'm kind of glad it has those holes. That way I can actually do stuff to it body wise. This truck used to have hydraulics in the bed. I'm not too sure why they took them out or what the cause was, but there's a couple factors that I know it had it. So for one being, there's a big dent over here. So I'm sure when, you know, they were tilting it and stuff, they hit the back of the bed. The funnel, the gas tank funnel is shortened up, and the rear cross member factory one is cut out. So I do want to put hydraulics in the bed, maybe a tilt bed, maybe a diamond. I still don't know how deep I want to get into it. The truck, I'm going to be bagging it, I'm going to be C-notching it and doing all that. And I'm going to be posting the whole entire build series, every single thing on this channel. Not to mention, I'm going to be doing all the work by myself, me and my dad. This is not my first mini truck build, and it's also not going to be my last, but I do want to make it something special. A lot of people are telling me to put a more modern engine in there, like a hard body motor or a 240 motor or stuff like that, but I don't want any of that. I want to keep it straight 80s, and in the 80s all there was a Z24, which was what came in these. Obviously there's guys swapping other 80s motors or 50s motors or whatever into them, but I'm going to keep it Z24. I actually have the motor right here. I'm just waiting to figure out where I can buy a new motor or get a new motor. I have a couple people that I need to call to make sure I can get one, but worst comes to worst, I'll just end up rebuilding this one and throwing it back in the truck. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for this build. Now, I just wanted to make a quick video to put out there since I know I haven't mentioned this on YouTube, only my Instagram. So I have people that were wondering, you know, where this truck came or what, like, how did I get my hands on this thing? So I just want to post a quick video. Also, sorry that it's super late and super dark, but I just got out of work, so I just wanted to make a quick update for YouTube so you guys can see, for those of you who follow me on YouTube and not Instagram. However, if you guys want to see more daily uploads or daily updates, I would recommend you guys follow me on Instagram, which is where I'm mostly active. I have all of that down in the description down below. However, that's all I got for today's video. I hope you guys are excited, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.